Jack the Ripper. In 1888, an unidentified serial killer known as Jack the Ripper terrorized the Whitechapel district of London. His victims were primarily female prostitutes living and working in the slums of the East End. Known as the Canonical Five, these women were murdered between August and November in particularly gruesome ways. Their throats were slit, their bodies mutilated, often with organs removed. Despite hundreds of suspects being interviewed, the police never caught the murderer, leaving the world with one of history's most haunting mysteries. H. Holmes. During the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, H. Holmes built what would become known as the Murder Castle. This hotel was designed to kill. Secret passageways, soundproof rooms, trap doors, and even a gas chamber. Holmes lured victims, particularly young women, with promises of jobs or lodging, only to kill them and dispose of their bodies. He was also a con artist, engaging in insurance fraud and faking deaths to collect payouts. Arrested for fraud in 1894, investigations revealed he confessed to 27 murders, though some estimates suggest he may have killed over 200 people. Albert Fish. Albert Fish preyed on children, often luring them away under false pretenses before torturing and murdering them in unspeakable ways. His most infamous crime was in 1928, when he tricked 10-year-old Grace Budd's parents into letting him take her for a supposed birthday party. Instead, he brutally killed and cannibalized her, later sending a horrifying letter to her family detailing the crime. Fish admitted to killing and torturing other children as well, with authorities believing he may have murdered around 100. After his arrest in 1934, he claimed he heard voices and believed God commanded him to kill. Belle Gunness. Belle Gunness lured men to her property with promises of marriage, killing them for financial gain. She placed newspaper ads seeking wealthy suitors, and once they arrived at her farm, they vanished. Suspected of murdering her first husband, Mads Sorensen, in 1900 for life insurance, she later married Peter Ness, who also died under suspicious circumstances. Belle continued her deadly pattern until her farmhouse burned down in 1908, revealing several dismembered bodies on the property. Among the remains was a headless female body, believed by some to be Belle herself. Her exact number of victims is unknown, with estimates ranging from 14 to over 40. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy murdered at least 30 young women across multiple states in the 1970s. Outwardly charming and educated, he lured victims by pretending to need help, often using a fake cast or crutches. Bundy kidnapped, assaulted, and killed women, sometimes returning to mutilate their bodies. Arrested in 1975, he escaped custody twice before being recaptured. In 1978, he committed his final murders in Florida, attacking multiple women at a sorority house. Bundy was ultimately sentenced to death. Jeffrey Dahmer. Dahmer's crimes included necrophilia, dismemberment, and cannibalism. He lured young men and boys to his apartment, offering money or sex, before drugging and strangling them. Dahmer kept body parts as trophies, including skulls and preserved organs. Despite encounters with law enforcement, he avoided arrest for years. In 1991, one intended victim, Tracy Edwards, escaped and led police to Dahmer's apartment, revealing photographs of dismembered bodies and human remains. Dahmer was sentenced to multiple life terms but was killed by a fellow inmate in 1994. John Wayne Gacy. Known as the Killer Clown, Gacy entertained children at parties while murdering young runaways and teenage boys. He lured victims with promises of work or impersonating a police officer, sexually assaulted them, and strangled them, often burying bodies under his house or disposing of them in rivers. Gacy evaded detection for years until the disappearance of Robert Piest in 1978 led to his arrest. Authorities discovered 29 bodies beneath his home, with others in nearby rivers. Ed Gein. Born in Wisconsin in 1906, Gain's abusive upbringing shaped a twisted obsession with women. After his mother's death, he began exhuming corpses from local cemeteries, using body parts to create furniture, clothing, and masks. His crimes escalated to murder, killing 2 women in the 1950s. Police discovered body parts and preserved organs throughout his home. Gain's crimes inspired countless horror films, including Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Aileen Wuornos. Wuornos killed 7 men between 1989 and 1990, claiming self-defense during alleged sexual assaults. While working as a prostitute, she targeted men who picked her up on the streets. Arrested in 1991, she was convicted of 6 murders and sentenced to death. Her case raised debates about trauma, survival, and justice. Richard Ramirez. Known as the Night Stalker, Ramirez terrorized Los Angeles in the 1980s. He broke into homes at night, attacking victims with various weapons and leaving disturbing symbols, including pentagrams, at crime scenes. Wearing different clothing and using different weapons made it difficult for police to link the crimes. In 1985, citizens detained him after recognizing him from a sketch. Ramirez was convicted of 13 murders, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries, receiving a death sentence. Pedro López, the monster of the Andes, committed murders across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru in the 1970s and 1980s. Most of his victims were young girls, with estimates exceeding 300. He abducted, sexually assaulted, and killed them, leaving bodies in remote areas. Arrested in Ecuador in 1980, he confessed to over 100 murders, later linked to crimes in Colombia and Peru. López served 14 years in a psychiatric hospital and was released in 1994. His current whereabouts are unknown. Andrei Chikatilo, known as the Red Ripper, Chikatilo terrorized the Soviet Union between 1978 and 1990, murdering 52 people, mostly women and children. He lured victims to secluded areas, where he assaulted, stabbed, and mutilated them, sometimes biting or eating parts of their bodies. Arrested in 1990, DNA evidence linked him to multiple killings. Chikatilo was convicted of 52 murders and executed by firing squad.